Acting Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan is no longer the acting defense secretary, and he will not seek a Senate confirmation to be the permanent defense secretary under the Trump administration because of reports that have surfaced indicating that he beat his wife.
Oy.
And also defended his son after his son beat his wife with a baseball bat.
Oh, wait, his son beat his wife too?
So let me give you the details.
What?
This is such a gruesome and disgusting story. And it seems to be a problem that Donald Trump's administration has been riddled with from the very beginning. And we'll get to that in just a second. But according to The Hill, Shanahan and his then wife, Kimberly Jordanson, got into a late night argument in August of 2010 that escalated into a physical fight. Jordanson reportedly told police Shanahan punched her in the stomach while he told police that she was the aggressor and punched him, quote, 10 or 20 times. She was actually arrested on suspicion of domestic violence, but prosecutors later dropped those charges, citing a lack of evidence. There's more though. The Washington Post also detailed a 2011 incident in which Shanahan's and Jordanson's son hit her with a baseball bat, leaving her unconscious in a pool of blood. After the incident, Shanahan flew to Florida, where Jordanson and their son then lived, rushing to the defense of his son. In fact, he put out a memo saying use of a baseball bat in self-defense will likely be viewed as an imbalance of force. However, Will's mother harassed him for nearly 3 hours before the incident. First of all, I don't trust anything this guy says, but even if you give him the benefit of the doubt and you believe that his wife harassed the son for 3 hours, you don't get to beat someone with a baseball bat. But he has shown some remorse about that statement. He says, quite frankly, it's difficult to relive that moment, and the passage was difficult for me to read. I was wrong to write those 3 sentences. Now, with that said, and given all of this stuff that has come up about his domestic abuse, what does Donald Trump have to say about him? Take a look.
Pat Shanahan, who is a wonderful person, is, as you know, going to take some time off for family matters. And I want to thank him for his service. He's a terrific person, and it's a difficult time for Pat, but he's going to take a little time off for family service and for working things out. I didn't ask him to withdraw, but he walked in this morning. He said it's going to be a rough time for him because of obviously what happened. But I did not ask him to withdraw. He presented me with a letter this morning.
So he referred to Shanahan, a man who defended his son after beating his wife with a baseball bat and leaving her in a pool of blood, referred to him as a wonderful person and a terrific person in the video you just watched.
Yeah, it's just very comforting that the most powerful military in the history of the world, the capacity to blow up the world many times over, was being run by this unhinged, clearly unstable person. I'm not talking about Trump, I'm talking about Shanahan.
And he was pushing for war. I mean, just earlier this week, we were reading quotes from him in regard to invading Iran. It's out of control.
But this guy beats his wife and gets a job in this administration.
His son beat his wife.
Well, no, he punched his wife in the stomach, and then the son with the bat. So he beats his wife and gets a job in the administration. Meanwhile, the Central Park 5 don't commit a crime and they serve 10, 14 years, whatever it is. So Trump, seems to be quick to judge the Central Park 5. But this guy's a good guy who needs to go figure out his issues.
I'm really glad you brought that up because just yesterday, April Ryan asked Trump whether he would apologize for what he had said about the Central Park 5. We're talking about men who were exonerated. They had served time in prison for a crime they did not commit, and they were exonerated using DNA evidence. They were innocent. And Trump refuses to apologize to them, would never refer to them as wonderful people or terrific people. But when it comes to this guy, Shanahan, he has no problem, calling him all these positive names, being incredibly complimentary toward him. What also stood out to me was the fact that Shanahan has actually been confirmed before by our Senate. And so what kind of vetting takes place? Like, what are these confirmation hearings for? First of all, you have various members of Trump's administration who have lied under oath, no consequences, who cares, right? And then you have this case where this guy has carried out acts of violence against his own family members, his wife. How do you not know about that? What kind of vetting takes place? Is there any vetting? Do people in Congress do anything?
Well, these people in Congress, I mean, they see that he was a 30-year employee of Boeing, one of the nation's top defense contractors, and that's good enough for them.
Right.
Well, he was saying that he wants to implement extreme vetting for immigrants coming to America. Extreme vetting. Maybe he should start doing some extreme vetting for the people that are going to be in his administration, so we don't end up with all these people abusing women that are in his administration. Wasn't there the other guy?
Yeah, Robert Porter was one of Trump's administration officials who actually ended up having to leave the administration because 2 of his wives or ex-wives had come out and alleged that he had hit them, had committed domestic violence against them. Jennifer Willoughby was one of those wives, and then Colby Holderness was the second one. In fact, one of them had released a photo of what her face looked like after he had hit her. So this is something that's obviously an issue within Trump's administration and indicative of the type of people he likes to surround himself with. But I think it's also important to note that, look, these confirmation hearings mean nothing if you don't do the proper vetting, if you don't do the homework and ensure that the people you're questioning are telling the truth, because they are gonna lie under oath. It's happened over and over again. And to see them get away with it with no consequences is just ridiculous. And by the way, Trump, after all of this came out, was super complimentary toward Porter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Stood up for him.
2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below. Then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.